Well, good evening, all. It is, I do believe now, Monday morning, June the 8th. The time is 12:08 a.m. here in the deep piney woods of East Texas. And, a lot of people tell me, by the way, my name is Ramblin' Randy. I go by Ramblin' Randy. And I have a story just like you do, and I'm telling mine now, and I'm seeing something that's taking place that I think that we all need to talk about. And if we've got any lick of sense, we'll come together and have a plan. We're going to talk about those things. I have a plan, and if you've got one better, let's do it, because the clock's ticking, and look on the screen here. Now, for a long time, and I don't know where you stand mentally as far as how much of all this that you believe and how much you think is made up, or if you're into the word they throw around unjustly called conspiracy theories or theorists. Let me tell you something. When you keep seeing something go across the street that walks like a duck, and you listen to it and it quacks like a duck, I'm going to think that's probably a duck. But there's a lot of people saying that it is a bulldozer. That's a bulldozer. And I want it, and I want you to buy it for me. I mean, some of the most crazy things are happening out there. It is by design. I have been saying that, as well as many others. And the last thing that I want to do right now, the last thing I want to teach anyone to do, or just simply suggest that they do, is to fall into this game of, don't you remember when I was saying this? I listen to all these radio people that they're trying to go one-upsman on, I was the first one to say this. They all do that because they're into this rating thing, and they're all competing for the same, fishing in the same pond, as we call it down here in East Texas. They're all competing for that listener or that viewer. And they make their revenue, their living, and their means by which to disseminate the truth out there off of those kind of structured avenues of revenue. They are very handicapped to get the truth out there, but they're trying. There's a lot of people, they're doing it from their passion, for a cause. What I am doing is out of sheer necessity for myself, and then showing others by doing so. I need a lot of people for this to work, for everybody, for it to work. Even for those people who do not participate, it's still going to benefit those people. As I was going through my nightly thing, and I usually do a video ever so often here, and talk about the things that are coming, and I have been, and I am coming forth with this platform. But I pose to you this: what would you do if down deep inside you knew without a shadow of a doubt in your mind that you had a way that could help save boatloads of people by making them money, and that also would make you money and save your backside as well? What would you do if you needed these people to help save yourself, and what you're doing is showing them how they can save theirself, and doing it legitimately, honestly, totally transparent? Everybody can do well. That's our mission. Our mission is to see that all of those people involved with us are financially, physically, best we can, and spiritually stable and beyond, based on a fair exchange of value for what they contribute to the cause, the movement, to themselves at the end of the day, because we're all out to achieve a different level of whatever we're all individually looking for on the good side of the fence. You know, I wrote something down today. I think it's pretty, freely giving is good. Unjustly taking is terrorism. You know, by doing something fun regularly, your future will find you. Stop and think about that a second. By doing something regularly that's fun, your future will find you. It's in those moments of peace and contentment that you can create your world as a manifestic, I call it. A being that creates their own reality from sheer thought. We're all doing that. It's not that way out there to talk like that. We're doing it now. But let's get back to what we're staring at right here. This epiphany that I had, that I need to deliver this message of we need to get together. And if nothing else, start talking about these things that are forthcoming. And what we can do as a solution and a workaround and a means by which to get to the other side of this river of turmoil, somewhat unscathed, and, believe it or not, be in a better position financially, emotionally, and spiritually than we are right now. There's opportunity here to help the country and to put our oxygen mask on first and help ourselves. By helping ourselves become empowered with having more money than just what's getting by, and knowing that the future is not looking good as far as all these things that we hear. We need an insurance policy on our value as a human being, for God's sake. I mean, if you've got a story, it's got value. We need to find a way, and I have, of monetizing your story. That's what we offer to people, and we offer our story freely. But let me get back to what's going on here, right here on this screen, before I start rambling. This is done by Millennia Millie on YouTube. I follow Millennia Millie on YouTube. She's a very, very deep diving researcher and journalist. The name of this latest video that I just watched, this is the second time through on a 22-minute video. The name of it is Undercover Investigation. Minneapolis Riot Was Pre-Planned. Let's see if you can hear a little bit of this, just to get a dose of what went through my mind, because it's changed my entire approach to everything, and it should be yours too. This is no game any longer.
The breakout of riots in Minneapolis, Minnesota was a powder keg long in the making. The evidence for pre-planning and setting up a situation for a disaster is overwhelming. What you are about to see is part of a 2-year undercover investigation into the leftist radicalization embedded within the climate justice movements, one in particular, the Sunrise Movement.
These escalations, these actions can be really, really dangerous. Uprisings, including actions like burning buildings, are legitimate and powerful forms of resistance.
So last night, when that police station went up in flames, me and my girlfriend, we poured shots. We were happy.
This moment in history is a coin toss between freedom and fascism.
In this first video, we are going to show you how the Sunrise Movement played an instrumental role in carrying out mayhem in the name of bringing about the Green New Deal. We have sources within these groups to get to the bottom of where all of this leftist radicalization is coming from and what their end game is.
And any politician must back a Green New Deal. or make way for the leadership who will.
We have their plans, manuals, intercepted communications, and have recordings of their Zoom chats. The reason why the screens of these people in the Zoom are blurred is because they are minors. What we didn't expect to find were organizers radicalizing middle school and high school aged children, teaching them military tactics and preparation for high-risk actions. Some of these tactics include escalation provocation techniques, blocking freeway traffic, and how to get arrested, bogging down law enforcement in the name of destroying capitalism to make way for their Green New Deal.
Why be in school if we're not going to have a future?
What some parents may have thought were innocent youth organizations, genuinely fostered and ran by children, are actually monolithic structures with private intelligence military contractors and foreign interests influencing children to carry out their subversive objectives. Behind the Sunrise Movement is an organization called Momentum.
Just some quick things to keep in mind is that when we escalate, our target is always the public. So even if we're like targeting like a senator or like another decision maker, escalation should be a response, not a reaction to like what's going on. And I think again, like just what that means is like your escalation should be like deeply grounded in your movement's DNA. It should be deeply grounded in your strategy, not just like a knee-jerk sort of like bottlenecked reaction.
Instead of studying in a classroom, we're building an army of young people across the country starting right now, so we'll be thousands strong by the time the election arrives.
They are calling on children to help escalate the mayhem.
These like escalations, these actions can be really, really dangerous for a lot of folks. And there's a lot of, especially I think with escalated actions, often like police are involved, or there could be nasty onlookers, or like.
Well, what do you think about that? Is that a game changer for you? It is for me. Of course, I have been creating this counter movement to what you're looking at right there, and I didn't even know I would be countering this, nor did I even know what I was doing, really. But I've got it. It's been delivered to me. And why? Now, if this sounds crazy to you, please just move along or just sit and listen if you like. It's entertainment, but this is very serious. Can you see that they are very serious? I sure can.
Yeah, like we were doing an action in DC, and there's a bunch of like really evil, like MAGA teens over in the corner.
Notice they want privileged white suburban children to be on the front lines of the risk actions.
A really important thing to think about as Sunrise, which is like right now a predominantly white and like predominantly like middle, upper middle, like managerial class movement.
Every one of us has a lot of work to do to end these systems, and the more privilege we have in relationship to Blackness, the more responsibility we have to fight to end these systems.
It should be noted that Aaron Berger, the international advisor for the Sunrise Movement, is the CEO for Asymmetric Solutions, a military contracting company that specializes in military training, cybersecurity, and global strategies.
What's going on? Get down! I will kill everybody here! Get down!
You need to come over here and watch this on YouTube and think about it a little bit. Think about what I'm talking about now. This is a game changer for me. No longer is it. This is they've been working on this a long time. You know, this AOC and the Hornet's Nest one that wears that headband deal, Omar, have said some very bizarre things. Just so bizarre that I couldn't believe that I was here, and that I couldn't believe that they would say that kind of thing and get away with it. But they are. And they are training inside of our country. What you're seeing there is not good. And they're going for a complete mental mindset shift so that it would be democratic. This is an extremely well thought out process. Everything from the climate change to if you watch this video right here, and I've also got a couple other videos on my channel, that I have on my likes or whatever. I've got some others that are just mind-blowing to me. But we see this every day. But no one's doing anything to counter it. There's only one thing that can beat, because they're using fear. They're teaching people how to initiate acts of terrorism that causes fear. And people are easily controlled when they are afraid and they think someone can get them out of that situation. They're willing to do just about anything based on the level of fear and impending doom. I'm telling you, it's powerful. Been there, done that. Have that badge, both sides of the fence. So I sit here talking to you just as another person. You're sitting here on the couch with me. Which is true. Jimmy Church says that. We need to get together. And this is 17 minutes into this. And if you'd like, shut it off now and come back and listen to it if you only like to listen to short videos. Do it that way, but this is very important. The only way that I can see that would touch all the bases that need to be not only touched, but shored up and cause someone to be a whole person, mentally, spiritually, financially, and hopefully health-wise. Stress, as you're learning, has a tremendous amount to do about your health. Don't let me drift. Here I'm going to stay on point. Is that the only thing that can beat fear that I've seen in my lifetime is greed. Kids call it FOMO, fear of missing out. FOMA, fear of missing out, FOMO. And oh, so true, is it not? That's a human emotional, archetypical, emotional flaw, or whatever it is. And I don't think they're flaws. I think that these things are just fine tuners, kind of deals. But we're all good. So, greed, FOMO. So, if your objective here is to counter this movement that we're looking at there, and they're doing it because there are those that they're trying to sway, hit the emotion of save the planet. It's our humane thing to do. All that kind of approach, that whole business. just so that they can be in a position to execute their real game plan. And we all know what it is, and we'll discuss and talk about it. There are any two ways about it. They are going to what they feel is global dominance, like Antifa. This all that you're looking at, that Millie was talking about there, is building up to. It doesn't make any difference what the group's name is, people. It can be Antifa, ISIS, Black Lives Matter, Trayvon Martin, George Flores, Audie Murphy. It doesn't make any difference. Pearl Harbor. It doesn't make any difference. If it can create an escalated level of emotion, and you throw a little fear in there, and you got to get some race involved. It's always been a rub. They've used that so much. It gets a little anger and all that kind of stuff, and FOMO, a lot of FOMO, and the wrong kind of greed. Greed, there's a way greed's good, as I'm fixing to describe to you. And so, greed. If you understand that humans will succumb to greed over fear, which they will, if you throw a purse out there, we used to call it the purse gag, had to try some real strong fishing line onto a purse and super glue some 20s hanging out of that purse, throw it out in the middle of a 4-lane highway with 70-mile-an-hour speed limit. And you talk about FOMO, fear of missing out, and greed and all that business. There's some skid marks just being laid one right on top of the other, trying to get that purse. And then when they come up there to get it on a busy highway, about getting killed and rammed from the back and everything, they open the door on a 4-lane highway, and we pull the string, and it slides underneath their car. And they're sitting there. So yes, it's a human emotion. And again, I hearken back to what I just said there. By regularly doing something fun, your future will find you. It's good to mix humor into this kind of a thing, because this is deathly serious. But you can think more clearly when you are in a jovial position, believe it or not, from a position of observing. Just listen to what I'm saying as an observer. Just take it in and discern it for yourself. If it's logical, we ride. You and the rest of the friends of Paul Revere. Or we're going to lose this country. So back on point is that greed and fear. So people, in the example I gave, people are going to go to great lengths to get something for nothing. Greed. And so if you understand that, and that can be the sugar on the carrot that catches their attention. And where attention goes, energy flows. That's the seed of manifestation. Continuously think about it. It's going to happen. They saw the purse. They're greedy. They continue to think about that money hanging out of that purse. And they went into action, continuously thinking about it until they manifested, or what they thought they was going to manifest, is grabbing that purse with that cheese in it. And we threw our black magic on it and said, no, you're not. And so Amschel Rothschild once said, I care not who writes the laws of a country, give me control of their currency, that purse, and I control the country. And he also said, find me something that we can give to the minions that will help our agenda without them knowing it, and we can win any battle, especially when we take it away. Same example in the purse deal. There's 1,000 ways that you can describe the great lengths that we would go to get something for nothing. That's another one of those archetypical human traits. So I, or anyone as a creator, if you're countering something like you're looking at there, that they're using emotion and their objective is to take down capitalism and destabilize the world so that they can come in. At the end of the day, it has nothing to do with climate, has nothing to do with these murders, unjust murders, and any of this stuff. It doesn't have anything to do with it. It has to do with, at the end of the day, they want to have control of all things. Right now, they're using a particular currency, and that's the U.S. dollar. So if you understand these things, they're all pieces of this mosaic. But what I want to share with you right now is we have a counter to their play here. It's greed, just like theirs. Except we attract people with the allure of extremely large bounties of what I call energy or money. In other words, I can guarantee someone a wealth level that they seek to achieve. I can guarantee that they'll get there if they'll do the work. What work is that? Help me get other people. Remember, greed overcomes fear. And FOMO, remember that. Because if I, through this plan, not I am doing nothing more than I'm a co-creator with the source of all good that created this deal. So I'm, I guess, first person to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about me, but it's not. I'm doing this with the ambient, with what I consider to be the source of all good. Okay? So I'm channeling this thing to you. So the way I see it. Hopefully you'll see and pick up the same picture, because this is unbelievably remarkable. Just think about it. I'm giving it to you. Seriously. But you have to understand how it works and why. Because this is a conjure. This is magic that we're going to be performing. We are biblically, you'll talk about, we are going to pray for a miracle. Okay? Praying is thinking. We're going to think in a particular manner. We're going to have a plan. This is what we're going to lay out, up into the heavens there for be answered, hopefully. Same thing as a conjure, what they call black magic. There's nothing different, or white magic, or soft magic. It's that you have a vision in your mind's eye. Our intent for this vision is to create greater good, to help counter this, what I consider to be evil that you're looking at on the screen. And they're using emotion, but we're going to get one even bigger than that. Because I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, I don't care if they're tree huggers or whatever they are. At the end of the day, they're going to want to go have some sushi or something like that, or tree juice, and I'm all into the health thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm just being a little flippant here. Humor. Remember how humor's good? Okay. So, at the end of the day, they're going to want some exchangeable medium for all this. They're only going to be good so especially these little ritzy ones that are out there doing it, and that's what Antifa's going for. Did you hear about the white privilege part? That means, that's code talk for if you got a bunch of cheese and you're white, you need to cough it up. And they're doing it by the droves, and they're going for the little ones. Well, not that we need to go into the big people stuff and all that about the apocalypse and all those things and go crazy headed. Let's just rise up above that and think that, however, if those that don't not only wake up, everybody wakes up in the morning, but wake up and accept the fact that this stuff is happening to us, and here's a plan that sounds pretty logical. We got to do something. This is the horse I'm going to ride, our little crew here, and this is how our counterinsurgency against this invader is going to come down. That's basically what we're saying. And we're going to do it by doing good. This is crazy, but it's true. You've heard biblically it's better to give than receive. Well, believe me, I come from a seriously serious Southern Baptist family. And that they're all smiling wherever going, I can't believe he's doing it. Thank goodness. I've been praying over it. He's talking about it. And it is better to give than to receive, especially when you realize that giving in its ultimate form is greedy. Because the only way you're going to get more than you've fought and stolen and everything else is to give it away. I'm kidding you. It's the craziest thing. Giving it away, expecting nothing in return. If, in fact, what you're giving it to is going to help the greater good of all. You're part of the all thing, and everyone's going to know that you helped a lot. You're going to be revered, and there's going to be great value in you for doing what you did. There's serious power there. But to get to that level, guess what we're going to do? All these people here, look at the screen again. All these people, all these kids and everybody doing that, remember that sushi and everything? Well, they're going to be out there, and these people, these Antifa people, that's running it, the real puppeteers that could care less even about Antifa or any of those groups, they're the ones that's getting them to destabilize this capitalist kind of society, which some parts of it needs to be shook up. But they do not want to, they need their entire plan to go forth so that they can collapse the entire current monetary system and go to a new one, because the one they created is fixing to blow. Scotty, she's gonna blow. You know, that kind of thing. It really is fixing to blow. I'm not kidding you. Just not kidding you. You can't even imagine how close we are to some serious stuff happening here. No one really realizes it, but when them trucks stop rolling, when the trucks really stop rolling, not just this CV deal and all that business, I'm talking about the trucks stop rolling, things get a little weird. So let's not go there, but let's just be aware of the fact that we can cartel that, impact that by stacking ourselves a bunch of cheese right now, and we have a plan to do that. We sure do. We surely do. They're very organized people. They're going to take us down brutally if we didn't counter it. So, leading up to the finalization of this, what needs to take place is the people here on this screen that want to get that sushi at the end of the day, or go relax or do whatever, because everybody's doing it for a carrot or a reason or an agenda or a smile or whatever it does to blow their dress up. It's going to require some exchangeable medium, if nothing else, but for the gasoline in their car or whatever it is to get to where they're going. They're going to have some money. Now, if they see that there's people that they're attacking or getting, even the ones that were under the bridge, all these things they're starting to get a little bit happier, and they're starting to get stuff, and we're over here not getting anything, and been beating up windows and catching fires and everything, and we hadn't saved that polar bear yet on that iceberg that they said is going to die. You know, the climate is not flipping out like they said it was, and hey, no one's getting sick with the COVID. What's up here? And I'm not getting any cheese, but these people over here, they're going to a party and they're making a bunch of money. People, do you catch on what I'm saying? The way that this plan has it is we've got to get people making a good and recognizably larger amount of money that they are making now, to put a big ass smile on their face so that will radiate, and there's no denying the truth and there's no defense against it. So those people on the other side, the team that we're fighting, the ones on the ground that are getting manipulated, they're going to see firsthand from their counter protesters. They've got some more stuff that they don't have, and they're happy. And a lot of them aren't even showing up, and we're doing this stuff, and we're all over TV, and now Yellowhead's got all these investigations going on, and my God, and they're doing pretty good. You know, all these things, that is the attraction part of the weaponry. You've got to get their attention. The foot soldiers on the other side, to see that these foot soldiers over there, something has changed about that crew, and they're all pulling up with some pretty nice wheels, and they got some new gear, and they're all seemingly starting to smile a lot. I want some of that action, and that's how we win. Subscribe to this channel. We'll talk more about this. It's the only way to win. It is the only way to win. And we have to support each other inside of this. There's a lot to this. It is a plan. It isn't just some way to just make money, but you can make a whole bunch of it. Guess why? Because that's what we've got to do. Do it legally and quick. Get people up there making good. They're going to see that. And they'll notice it because we'll be remonetizing places that they've shut down, like YouTubers out there speaking the truth. Just watch the Millie deal here. Watch this and subscribe to this channel and get other people to do that. If you love this country, I have a plan. I guarantee it'll work. If you'll just do whatever you're doing right now, let us know about it. That's your work. And tell other people to do the same thing. And make a commitment to support other people with a penny, a nickel, a dime, quarter. We can win. Subscribe, hit the bell, tell everybody to do the same thing. Ramblin' Randy. The deep piney woods of East Texas. Remember this: once a person who has been honestly mistaken all of their life learns the truth, as you just did, they either cease to be mistaken, start speaking the real truth, or they cease to be honest. What say you? Subscribe, hit the bell, tell other people to be over here, and we'll rock and roll. Ramblin' Randy, we down.